Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk with you about the topic of supplemental education, what the classical definition of the term is, how I intend to approach the topic so that it may also be helpful to teachers and homeschooling parents, and before finally why it's so important and crucial to families of those individuals who have autism and other disabilities to know and have access to it. So, the classical definition of supplemental education is any education opportunity taking place outside normal school hours or settings, such as summer school, study groups, after-school programs, online courses, and extra non-degree courses. So, the summary of the traditional definition and scope is traditional means of education support for the traditionally supported education system of students. This is a great starting point, yet there's a lot of opportunities for families and teachers that can be lost in this limited scope and description. So I want to open it up to more opportunities and options and explain all of the benefits therein. So, I've found that there are ways to approach supplemental education that can make it far more fun and engaging for both learners in traditional classrooms and out of them, or otherwise. The traditional basis for supplemental education is, as we looked at, a list of courses or extra forms of study. And I would argue that any form of education that is in addition to the normal of courses would be by definition supplemental. So similarly, all techniques that are helpful for supplemental education can be potentially helpful for those who are also homeschooled by proxy. They can help in enhancing a homeschool curriculum or being part of a homeschool curriculum if they're a fit for the intended learners. That's true for all of these things. They only work if they fit with the person trying to be worked with. If they're not a fit, they're not going to work by definition. So here are some of the things I would add to the list of supplemental education options that aren't normally considered. So, educational card games and board games, educational computer games, non-traditional reports and critical thinking reflections. Now, I know there's normally reports. People do a lot of reports, but these are non-traditional reports and critical thinking reflections, such as about vacations or field trips that people go on. Crafts and recycling projects. Extra home economics projects and learning. I think that's incredibly important. I just want to do a side tidbit on that because you hear a lot of people as adults complain that they wish they'd learned these things. And especially as parents of individuals with autism or individuals who have autism, or knowing other people who have, and additionally knowing other people who have disabilities, and just knowing people in general, there are so many people who wish that the public school system taught them certain things in home ec that they're not taught, like how to pay bills, how to take care of a house, things like that they're not taught. And these are things that are important and would be considered supplemental education. Learning about these avenues can give reusable classroom options for teachers as well as provide out of the traditional classroom opportunities for families, whether their learners are enrolled in traditional learning situations or not. Homeschooled, more stuff to do. Not homeschooled, more stuff to do, more things to learn. It works either way and it can only help. And I would know because my folks did some of these things with me when I was growing up. Actually, a lot of them. I was exposed to a lot of these things growing up. So, let's move forward. So, I've said they can help. I said I'm one example of it. But just one example does not a, theory or a commonality make. So, what am I going off of? Well, many individuals with autism and just people in general tend to learn differently from one another. And how one individual learns will not be how another individual learns. Some people learn better in a classroom, some people don't. Some people need different ways of having the information repeated to them outside of a classroom to help their studying. Some people need the information made more fun. And everyone learns better when the information's made more fun, generally. And we all learn in a different way. Some learn by doing, some learn by seeing, some learn by hearing, some need an amalgamation of these things. That's generally helpful. And using them, as a lot of supplemental education does, hands-on, helps reinforce these things, especially if it's, again, fun. Now, it can help for individuals who don't pick up on as fast to have these things, especially in a way they enjoy, so it feels like they're playing. And making learning play can help someone carry that learning into their adult life more, to help continue learning and growth in a way that's not a burden. And it's great when learning's not a burden. It makes life more fun through and through. And having it in a way that's play as a family with, say, board games or card games can be a way to get everyone involved and learning together in a way that's fun and can help remind some adults or older learners of skills or knowledge that they had when they were younger that they might have forgotten or gotten rusty with, and help sharpen those things, which is great for some of our, cognitive functioning and long-term sustainability of brain function, which is great. Now, again, so these things are all great and all, but they only work if they fit with the individual and where they are, who they are, and their shifting needs. And finding those things, those tools that help connect what they need to learn, reinforce what they're learning, and where they're at as an individual, including, say, stress regulation and other things as well. And these are all important things that can be balanced socially as well. All these things can be balanced and can be helped sometimes with supplemental education in different ways. And I'm looking forward to talking with you all more on these things and elaborating more on these things and talking more about different options and avenues and products that are out there for some of these things going forward, and sharing ones with you that I have personally found helpful and getting your feedback and your input. So I want to say thank you for watching my introduction video today to supplemental education. If you found it interesting and want to learn more on the topic, be sure to hit subscribe. If you have thoughts or opinions on the matter, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear more from you. I'd love to have this conversation keep going down there. Please drop a line down there. And if you wait a few moments at the end of this video, there'll be some little icons that'll pop up where YouTube will say some things that thinks you might find interesting based on its algorithms, or things you might find useful if you liked this content. And finally, I want to make sure that you know that I'm glad you're here, that you and your family, your loved ones, the people you care about, that you're all loved, you all matter, you all make a difference, you all make an impact, and it's worth it. And life can and often is incredibly difficult and unforgiving, and if you're in a place in your life right now like that, I want you to know that you're not alone, that your struggle is worth it, that you and your loved ones are worth it, that it can get better, that it will get better, and that it all matters, and it's not for nothing. And thank you for all that you do. I'm Mike Malcolm, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.